Have you ever stopped to ponder the current state of nuclear weapons in the world? It's a topic that, like it or not, has profound implications for us all. From geopolitical power plays to the balance of global peace, the nations that possess these formidable tools wield an influence that extends far beyond their borders. Understanding who has them, and perhaps more importantly, who might be next in line, is a crucial part of navigating our modern world. In the next few minutes, we will unravel the complex world of nuclear weaponry. To understand the future, we must first look at the past. In the annals of history, the birth of nuclear weapons is a tale of innovation, fear, and power. The genesis of this potent force can be traced back to the early 1940s, during the height of World War II. The United States, in an unprecedented scientific pursuit known as the Manhattan Project, embarked on a mission to develop the world's first nuclear weapon. The Manhattan Project was shrouded in secrecy, a covert operation spanning several years and employing some of the brightest minds of the era. It was a race against time, fueled by the fear that Nazi Germany was also working on a similar project. The culmination of this project was a chilling display of power in August 1945, when the United States dropped 2 atomic bombs on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The devastation was unparalleled, and the world was introduced to a new era of warfare. The end of World War II did not mark the end of nuclear development. Instead, it sparked the beginning of a new phase, the Cold War. This was a tense period of geopolitical rivalry between 2 superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union. The race for nuclear supremacy became a centerpiece of this conflict, with each side amassing an arsenal capable of causing unimaginable destruction. The Cold War years were marked by a pervasive dread of nuclear annihilation as the world watched the balance of power teeter on the edge of a nuclear precipice. The arms race was not just about weaponry, but also about demonstrating technological prowess and strategic dominance. The eventual dissolution of the Soviet Union in the early 90s brought an end to the Cold War, but the legacy of this era continues to shape our world. The nuclear landscape we navigate today is a direct result of these historical events. These events set the stage for the nuclear landscape we see today. Fast forward to the 21st century, and the nuclear club has grown beyond the original 2. The world has seen several nations join the nuclear club since the United States and the Soviet Union first developed their atomic arsenals. The United Kingdom was the 3rd country to develop nuclear weapons, conducting its first successful test in 1952, just 7 years after the end of World War II. They were driven by the desire to maintain their status as a global power and to ensure their own security in a rapidly changing world. Then came France and China, both developing their own nuclear capabilities in the 1960s. France, ever vigilant about its sovereignty and international standing, sought to ensure its security independently of its NATO allies. China, on the other hand, was motivated by the need to bolster its position as a major global player and to deter potential threats from both the East and the West. In the late 20th century, we saw 2 more nations join the nuclear club, India and Pakistan. These neighboring countries, with a history of bitter rivalry and conflict, developed their nuclear weapons as a means of deterrence against each other, further complicating the security dynamics of South Asia. Fast forward to the 21st century, and North Korea joins the list. Despite international sanctions and isolation, the secretive state has managed to develop and test nuclear weapons, driven by a desire for regime survival and international recognition. Lastly, we have Israel, a unique case. While it has never officially confirmed its nuclear status, it's widely believed to possess such weapons. In a volatile region like the Middle East, the assumption is that Israel developed a nuclear deterrent to ensure its survival. So from the initial 2, we now have 9 nations with nuclear capabilities. Each had their reasons, whether it be national security, regional dominance, or international standing. But their decisions to go nuclear have undeniably changed the global landscape. The world has become a nuclear neighborhood, which raises concerns about the future. But who might be the next entries into this exclusive yet potentially destructive club? As we venture into the realm of speculation, a few names stand out as potential future members of the nuclear club. Iran, for instance, continues to be a cause for concern. Despite signing the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action in 2015, an agreement designed to limit its nuclear program, the country has been accused of non-compliance by several nations. The reasons for Iran's interest in nuclear technology are manifold, including regional power dynamics, perceived threats from adversaries, and a desire for technological advancement and autonomy. Then there's Saudi Arabia, a country that has openly expressed its intention to acquire nuclear weapons if Iran does. The kingdom's interest in nuclear technology lies not only in its rivalry with Iran but also in its ambition to establish itself as a major global power. Its recent efforts to develop a civilian nuclear program, though claimed to be for peaceful purposes, have raised eyebrows in the international community. However, these are not the only countries that could potentially join the nuclear club. North Korea's successful nuclear tests have served as a stark reminder that the path to nuclear weapons is not as insurmountable as it might seem. This has sparked fears that other nations might follow suit, particularly those with strained relations with their neighbors or the international community. So, what has been the response of the international community? Well, it's been a delicate balancing act of diplomacy, sanctions, and in some cases, military intervention. The goal is to prevent nuclear proliferation without causing further tension or conflict. The effectiveness of these measures, however, is a topic of ongoing debate. Nuclear weapons are no longer the sole domain of superpowers. The landscape is changing, and with it, the potential for nuclear proliferation. As more nations express interest in acquiring these weapons, the stakes become higher and the margin for error slimmer. The potential for nuclear proliferation continues to be a major concern for the international community. The question remains, who will be the next to join the club, and what will it mean for the rest of us? So, what does this mean for the future of nuclear weapons? As we look ahead, the landscape of nuclear weaponry is fraught with uncertainty. The prospect of more nations acquiring these weapons of mass destruction is both alarming and complex. Think about it, nuclear weapons are not just about power, they're about deterrence. Countries with nuclear arms can discourage potential aggressors, maintaining a tense balance of power. However, as more nations join the nuclear club, this balance becomes increasingly delicate. Each new nuclear state adds another set of interests, another set of potential triggers for conflict. The risk of nuclear warfare, once thought to be a relic of the Cold War, begins to loom large once again. But it's not just about warfare. Nuclear weapons have environmental implications too. A single nuclear detonation can cause unprecedented ecological damage, not to mention the long-term effects of radiation. In a world already grappling with climate change, the environmental impact of nuclear weapons is a consideration we cannot afford to overlook. Moreover, there's the human cost. The devastation caused by the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki during World War II still resonate today. The prospect of such destruction on a potentially larger scale is a chilling reminder of the human toll of nuclear warfare. So how do we navigate this precarious future? The answer lies in non-proliferation efforts. International treaties like the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons play a crucial role in curbing the spread of these weapons. Diplomacy, dialogue, and cooperation among nations are key to ensuring a safer world. Yet, these efforts face challenges. Non-compliance, lack of universal participation, and the emergence of new technologies that could potentially enable the creation of nuclear weapons all pose significant hurdles. The future of nuclear weapons is uncertain, but one thing is clear: understanding their history and current status is crucial. As we move forward, it's essential that we learn from the past, grapple with the present, and work together to shape a future where the devastating power of nuclear weapons is kept in check. As we wrap up our journey through the world of nuclear weapons, it's important to remember the key points we've uncovered today. From the birth of these powerful tools of warfare, we've seen how their existence has shaped the international landscape. Their destructive potential, coupled with their strategic importance, highlights the necessity of understanding this complex world. The nations already wielding these weapons have a responsibility not just to their own people, but to the world at large. The balance of power rests on a delicate scale, one that could be tipped by the emergence of new contenders in the nuclear arms race. Understanding this topic isn't just about knowing which countries have the bomb and which ones could soon have it. It's about grasping the implications of this reality, the geopolitical dynamics at play, and the future of international relations. Staying informed about these global issues is crucial. It helps us make sense of the world around us and the forces that shape it. It encourages dialogue, fosters understanding, and promotes peace. Because in a world where a handful of nations have the power to obliterate entire cities, knowledge isn't just power, it's survival. So, as we end today's discussion, I urge you to keep this curiosity alive, to delve deeper into these issues and to never stop learning. The world of nuclear weapons is complex and ever-changing. Stay curious, stay informed, and remember, knowledge is power.